special because I'm going to show you a move that is my favorite nunchuck move of all time. Now we're going to have to work our way up to it, but let's get started immediately. First things first, I want you to do this. Take your nunchucks, set them gently on the ground. Here's the deal. We're going to start out just kind of moving our body and actually doing certain hand moves without nunchucks. The reason why I tell you to set them down in that fashion is oftentimes when I'm even in class, even when I'm watching students, I'm like, set down your nunchucks, and they're like, okay, bam, like they're dropping a mic. It's not a mic, it's your nunchucks, it's your weapons, they're used to help you. Why do you drop them? Don't. So I'm glad to see you guys here today. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's good to see you, Carter, and it's good to see you too, Ryan. Feel free to grab your siblings if they want to hop on in. This is just going to be a fun, relaxed class. With all that being said, let's get started. I want you to start moving your shoulders backwards, kind of like if you're a train. There you go. So today, super special nunchuck move. A move that I kind of showed people, but I'm gonna go a lot more in depth with today to make sure that everybody gets it. Now forwards. Now if you are watching right now and you haven't typed in the chat yet, type into the chat for me. Let me know that you're here. I figured I would have a little bit of a fun day today, a little bit of a relaxing day today, not pushing you too hard in terms of move sets, because I hear it's finals week for some people, and I know how stressful that can be. Hug yourself. I heard this great speech from an instructor once. He was talking to some junior instructors, 17 and 18-year-olds. And he says, I noticed that some of you guys were snapping at students this week, right? You were getting a little bit more upset than you normally would because, you know, it's finals and you're stressed and you're kind of not taking off all your problems when the class starts, right? Then as he was talking, he kept saying, you know what? That stress, that's okay. Everybody feels it. It's okay for you to be nervous. However, the way you feel is probably how they feel too. They also have finals. They're also going in and finishing up their school year, and it's stressful for them as well. And they come to martial arts to get all of that out. So, today, I'm just going to give you something relaxing, something fun, something that we can all get down together. Now, it's still going to be hard. It's still going to be hard. However, I think you guys will be able to understand and do it well. Now, shrug your shoulders backwards. This is going to be some of the most stressful week for some kids, this week and next week. Because not only is it finals week online, but also things are going to start opening up again soon here. And when they do, you'll notice that your parents will get a little bit more stressed because they're going to have to prep for their jobs, going back into work, go forward. And you're going to be prepping for your summer, right? So, next 2 weeks, we're going to have a great time, we're going to learn, and we're going to get ready. Now, in terms of us opening up, I'm allowed to talk about it a little bit now. Now, freeze, chin ear to ear. We are opening up May the 8th, sorry, for PAMA. No, it's the 4th, sorry. May the 4th for PAMA. That's when Douglas County says they're allowed to open. We're going to take all our precautions super serious. Here's the thing, it's not going to be like it was before. We're going to step it up 3 notches. Even though they say it's safe to open, we want to be even safer. We want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable coming in. Now, UMAC and kicks can't open quite yet. Hip circles. I believe they extended their date till May the 8th. When we do open, the same thing goes. We're going to keep these not only social distancing guidelines, but reducing class sizes, reducing class times to make sure, maybe expanding class times to make sure it's better, offering more things for you guys to make it easier as well. So we'll have private lessons if you want to do those. Semi-private lessons, which is like 4 people in a class. Maybe it's all a family where you work with an instructor one-on-one. So if you want to keep it, we'll give you ways to be even safer. Oh, good. Give me 1 second, Nicole. I'll talk about that in a second. So, switch directions. But in the same vein, we need to make sure that we want to stay safe. So if you guys want to stay and do semi-private lessons, you can. If you want to come to regular classes, you can. If you want to stay online classes, you can too. I'm going to keep all the online classes but I'll even do more of them. Nicole, I think I'm not getting some of your mom's emails, and she may not be getting some of mine. So there's some things there. I'm not sure. There's a couple things I was missing from you. I need you to send me your form, and I need you to send me your pad drill, which I didn't get. However, I did realize that in my spam box I saw your mom's emails, and when I tried to click deliver, it didn't deliver. So I'm not sure if you sent them or not. If you haven't sent them over, and then the second you do, I'll send you the belt. With that, I think I may have already put that in for you to send them your belt, just because I know that there may have been some email communication. I didn't want to put that on you. So if you get your belt in the mail, great. Still send me those forms videos, patch hole videos. If you haven't gotten your belt yet, feel free to send them to me. Also, let's get going here. I would like you to pick up your nunchucks. We're going to do some simple warm-ups before we start doing the, one trick that I really want to show you. So, move backwards here. Move backwards here. Hello! Oh, Ian. How's it going, Ian? And backwards. Backwards with your things. Remember, it's going towards your head. I've changed up my stream settings quite a bit today. Like, a lot. So, if you like the increase in quality, let me know. If you feel like it's a bit laggy and it's not working as well as it normally does, let me know that too. I need to know on your guys' side of things if this is working. Now, freeze. Go forward. Get used to this motion. Just get spinning. If you're doing it real slow, you're doing your full shoulders, I'm fine with that. If you got it down, do your elbows. If you got that down, just use your wrists to spin. Nice, and forwards. Perfect. Well, how's it going, Ian? And how's it going? Oh, Lynn, Aiden, and Kaylee all here. The sound is quieter, my volume's all the way up. Well, Carter, that's something I can fix. I turned it down because, again, people are saying I'm a bit too loud, which is just my natural speaking voice. But now you can hear me better. Maybe I hurt your eardrums on that one. Okay, now freeze. Put them above your shoulders. Spin forward. Tuck them under. That is a back fist flip. Back fist flip. So let's do this again. Forwards. Now flip them upside down. Shove them under. Oh, this is Kaylin. I was going to say that was, I knew your last name and I was like, that's Kaylin. Is her brother joining us today? So remember, spin, tuck. Now, if you're struggling with that, just go up, down, and you don't have to add any spins. At this point, if you've done all 4 weeks with me on Nunchuck, you should be able to go 1, do a couple spins, tuck. Now, if you got that, start doing it back up. So you reverse it. 1, 2, 3, up. 1, 2, 3, down. 1, 2, 3, up. You got that, start to go faster. Maybe just do 1, down and up. Nice. Now remember, these are just warm-ups. We're just getting them here. And hello, Rhythm. It's good to see you. It appears you're talking in chat now, so I can see you, and I'm telling you that you're here. Good to see you, Rhythm. So, for everybody who's new to BlackBelt Club, I see a lot of the same names here. This is the class where we just kind of do some nunchucks, we do some weapons, we have some fun. In the same sense, it is also a class where I kind of test out some things in terms of the stream, in terms of quality and stuff like that. So if there's any issues, let me know. Sometimes you'll see me walk closer to the camera to fix something. In normal class, I try not to do that as much. So, now that we're getting used to this and we're getting it down, we're going to move on to our next thing. Now, this next thing is going to help us quite a bit for what we're doing today. Take one nunchuck. Do a figure 8. Now, we're just doing a normal figure 8 right now. Now, if you struggle with your figure 8, let me go over how I've taught it the past couple weeks. First, use your shoulder. Side swipe going down, other side. Just use your shoulder. Keep your arm completely straight. Get used to this. Once you get that down, use your elbow. Elbow, so same thing. There, there. Once you got that down, you should only use your wrist. So my elbow and shoulder are locked, but my wrist is moving it back and forth. This is how we get used to the figure 8 motion. Now, another way that you can think about this, and just use one hand for now, don't worry, we'll get in. I really want you to get used to this motion, is thinking going inside, regular spin, going away from your head, away, away. So you're going away, 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 and then just do one each side, and then you get your figure 8. Nice, now switch. 1, 2. Now, if you have this down well, use your wrist. If you don't have it down well, use your elbow. Move your elbow from side to side. If you don't have that, use your shoulder. I'm okay if you do it super lazily right now, you're just working on it. Again, another way you can think about this is spinning it away. Your normal spin, it's the spin we do all the time. Over here as well. Then going over here and switching back and forth. So 2 spins, 2 spins, 2 spins, 2 spins, 1 spin, 1 spin, 1 spin, then half spins. Then you got your figure 8. Get used to this. Speed it up. Your arm's gonna hurt a little bit, that's fine. Really get used to these figure 8s. You're gonna be really thrown off today if you don't do some of the basics here. Nice, good job, guys. Nice, now freeze. Now I'm gonna teach you something new, but this is not the hard thing yet. So if you struggle with this, that's fine, that's fine. This is just warming up our mind to get thinking in double nunchucks. Now we're gonna do inverse figure 8s. Now our inverse figure 8s work the same way as our figure 8s, right? Except we go backwards. So let's start with our shoulder. Now I'm gonna swing this up, like I'm hitting somebody in the chin. 1, then I'm gonna go to the other side, see how my arms across my body. 2, I'm using my shoulder. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If I got that down, use my elbow. Now again, it's not gonna look super pretty at first, that's fine. When I get that down, I'm gonna use my wrist. This is gonna be one that you struggle with a little bit because you're so used to figure 8s that switching it feels unnatural. In fact, sometimes you'll do this, and then you'll go to your elbow, and then you'll go to your wrist and do a normal figure 8. Ask yourself, is my nunchuck moving away from my body or towards my body? So do it slowly. Is it moving towards or away? Am I afraid it's gonna hit me in the face when it comes at me? If you are, that means you're doing a inverse figure 8. But if you're doing a regular figure 8, if you think it's gonna hit your chin, that means you're doing a regular figure 8. So inverse figure 8s, you're afraid it's gonna hit your nose. Sorry. Bah. But regular figure 8s, you're afraid you're gonna come up and hit your chin. Most of the time, regular figure 8s you're not afraid of because you already have proper distance on it, right? Inverse figure 8s, you haven't figured it out. You haven't done it as much. All right, so same thing on the other side. Start, shoulder if you're struggling. Shoulder, 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 shoulder. Now use your elbow. Again, you're coming in. Hit the chin, hit the chin, hit the chin. Bam, 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 bam. Nice, hit my chin. There you go. So it's not coming down, it's coming up when you do these. If you got that down, use your wrist. Ooh. See, my left hand is my weakest hand. Also, I'm using the bad nunchucks on this side. Same height, same things, but different nunchucks. I do that so you guys can easily tell the difference between the two, but in the same, it hurts me. It hurts me. Hello, Sean, how's it going? Right now we're doing some figure 8s. Figure 8s. More specifically, inverse figure 8s. Ooh, okay. Once you get that down, I'm going to give you about 2 to 3 minutes to do something that we've done before. If you're new here, let's say your name is Sean. I haven't seen you a lot of BlackBelt Club. I know you've been to 1 or 2. But if you haven't been to over the past couple weeks, we're now going to combine our figure 8s. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to try out combining your figure 8s in a couple different ways. If you get one way down, try the next way. If you get another way down, try the next way. The first way I want you to try out is just competing figure 8s. Meaning, this comes outside of my body, and then they both come in. Outside in. If you struggle with this, again, you can use your, oh, sorry, we're not there yet. You can use your shoulders, you can use your elbows. Then once you get that up, I almost did the next thing. Then you can use your wrists. Nice, okay. If you have that down, you're going to do figure 8s at the same time at different directions. Here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See how these both come down this way, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Your goal is to do them at the same time. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. So competing, woo, joining. There you are. So if you can get both of those down, see if you can switch between the two. 1, 2. 1, 2. It's It's all about timing and figuring out when you need to switch. I think with joining, you switch when one's on the outside, you do one more flip and then you go. In terms of joining, it's when that other one's on the inside and you do it. So you choose one nunchuck and you choose, okay, outside or inside. If you're doing joining, wait till it's to the outside, continue with your other nunchuck. So if I choose this one, go to the outside, let this one spin, figure eight out this way, then switch. If it's inside, this one comes inside, this one finishes the figure eight, and then comes together. All right, you got all of that down. Perfect. If you don't got that down, you're just working on competing figure eights, that's fine. You don't have to move forward with me, only if you have it down. I'm showing escalating, easy, medium, hard. Ways that you can start to improve your nunchucks over time. We're going to cross our figure eights now. So if you got the joining, try to cross. So we have competing crossing figure eights. Now how I do this is simple. I do competing figure eights, but instead of doing from side to side, I go up and bottom. Now when done properly, they should never hit each other, because when this is on this side, this should be on this side. If you struggle with this, let me show you your shoulders, elbows, wrists. Shoulders. So I'm going across at the same time. Bam. One hand's on top, one hand's on bottom. I bring it up. Bam. So I'm going 1, 2, 1, 2. Now elbows, same thing. I bring them up, cross, wrist. I almost did what we're going to do next, the hard one. There we are. Woo. Sometimes when you're doing wrists on these, you hit your shoulder because you're meant to move your elbows a little bit. The only way that you can really do it where you don't hit your shoulders is if you make your body skinnier by putting one foot forward. Woo. Then when you do it, it makes it easier and it doesn't hit anymore. But when your chest is super wide and you try to do it and just use your wrists, you'll see that this is just a little bit too skinny, so I have to point it out more. But when I make my body skinnier, it makes it a lot easier. All right. So I'm going to give you one more minute to choose on what you're working with. Easy, medium, hard. Oh, so Kaylin asked, what do you do if you have one nunchuck? Work on your figure eights. Work on your inside figure eights. Ooh, there you are. The other thing that you can do is you can practice double figure eights without the other nunchuck, so just going here. So practice it as if you have that nunchuck, even though you don't. So this is, we're doing double nunchuck right now, but you don't need double nunchuck. You can just do this and practice it. So practice doing double figure eights while only having one. Then you can switch it off and try it with your other hand. Then joining. Now obviously, this is not preferred because you don't really get too used to it. And if your nunchucks would mess up, you wouldn't really be able to tell. But it's something to get used to. Especially when we move into this next move. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Now, Kaylin, I'm going to give you a single nunchuck variation of this in a second. But before we do that, you know how you can do double competing figure eights on top of each other? You can do joint figure eights on top of each other. This is the move we're working on today. Kaylin, do you have escrimas by chance? If you have escrimas, you can grab those. If you don't have escrimas, you can use your hands on this without using your nunchucks, and then you can pick up one nunchuck and practice it. So here's what we're going to do. Before we start spinning them, we're just going to put them together. If you don't have two nunchucks, hold up your hands like this. I'm going to show off both, but we're going to work on this first. So we're going to be doing double figure eights joined together. So here's how it's going to work. Imagine you are high-fiving somebody over here. So put one nunchuck here, one nunchuck by your waist. You're going to take your top nunchuck and hit down. Turn your body, then take your other nunchuck and slide through. So if I do this sideways, one's here, one, slide through. So this one's out. Then you're going to take this one, hit again, and then you're going to switch to the other. But another way to think about it is switching your hands 3 times, or high-fiving somebody 3 times and then switching sides. So if you have your hands, you can go here. 1, 2, 3. So again, 1, back hand comes through. 2, top hand down. So they're next to each other, reset. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. So if you have escrimas, you can do this with the escrimas too. 1, 2, 3. So do it again. Hands here, or nunchucks, or escrimas, whatever you're using. One hand comes down, your top hand. So if this is your, we'll say I'll switch sides. Let's say this is your right? Your right hand comes down here. It gets put in front of your head. Your left hand is just going to slide through here. Then once this hand's through, you're going to tap again. So sideways on here, I'm going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's almost like we're banging on bongos. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to practice this move a lot today. My whole goal is just to get down this one move. So, if I have my nunchucks, I'm going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, the other thing you can do is put your wrists together. So instead of going way up here, put them together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're struggling with putting your wrists together while doing this, my suggestion is separate them. Get used to this. Grab escrimas even. Grab escrimas even to do this. It'll help you out quite a bit. And actually, I got an escrima right here. And I'll show them off. Woo. So if I have escrimas, I'm going 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, once I get this down, I can start to keep my wrists closer together as I'm doing it to help spin it faster. The farther apart my wrists are, the slower I go. The more power I get, but the slower I go. The closer my wrists are, the faster I go, but the less power I have. Now when we're doing these fancy nunchucks spins, are we ever going to use this in real life? If you said yes, sir, when you do, film it. I would love to see it. But realistically, you're not going to have 2 pairs of nunchucks on you while you're walking down the street, and then if somebody does come up, instead of doing the smart thing and running away or giving them what you want, you take out your pair of nunchucks and you start to fight. There's 20 things wrong with that before you even start to fight with your nunchucks. So it's rare that you'll ever use these for power. So you can do it the fancy way, keeping your wrists together. But if you do want to and you practice it, hold farther down on the nunchuck, put them far away, then you can really get power on your spins. Alright, so once you got all that down, you guys have been practicing this, getting used to it. Remember, one hand on top, one hand on bottom. Turn my chest, high five, high five, high five. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Once you got that, try it with your nunchucks. 1, 2, 3. It's going to look sloppy. It's not going to look good. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we start with our shoulders. It's our practice. It's getting used to it. It's not going to look like how mine looks until you get used to it more and you start to use your wrists and not your shoulders. But try just your shoulders. Starting up here. 1, 2, 3. High five. High five. High five. When you get used to that, speed it up. Still kind of go slow, because when you use your shoulders on this, there's a good chance that your nunchuck's going to come around and hit you on the back of the head. Once you get that down, put your elbows closer together. Use your elbows. Now, see how it's a bit better. This is how most of my black belts, when they start doing nunchuck and I show them this move, do it. They use their elbows. It's wide. It looks okay. It just isn't as good as they would want. Now finally, shoulders, elbows, wrists. When you use your wrist, that's when you start to get speed. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now the second you hit this third one, you need to take your other hand and bring it over. Because if you don't, then you're going to slow down your movement and it's not going to look good. So if I go 1, 2, 3, but I wait a little bit, see how it just throws off my rhythm? 1, 2, 3, immediately switch. Now, ultimately, I'm doing it from hip to hip here. You're going to want to tuck it tighter in. You're going to want to do it sideways, because that's how you're going to get the most speed out of it. When I'm forward, I have to do it wide, which slows me down. But when one foot's in front and I'm doing moves over here, and I spin around, I'm able to keep it tighter into my wrists. I'm able to cut faster, which makes me spin faster. So keep practicing that. If you have your escrimas, practice your redondo. This will transfer. Once you get your escrimas down, try grabbing them in the middle and do the same thing. Anybody from any martial arts that does escrimas will tell you this is a silly way to grab things. You're going to get your knuckles hurt. But right now we're not really doing escrimas, we're practicing our nunchucks. Ooh. Ah. So, get used to this. Joint competing nunchucks. Joint double figure eights here. Those are my terms for it. If you search this up online, like competing figure eights, it's gonna be something different. It's probably gonna be like figure skaters or something. But this is how I just kind of comprehend the moves, and that's the names I give them. I don't always call the moves what they're technically called, because that's not how my brain thinks about it. When I say competing figure eights, I know that they're competing against each other. I say join, I know that they're trying to be together. When I say inverse figure eights, that's actually the correct term. I know it's figure eights backwards. Sometimes they line up. The other way that you can think about it, it's just joining together with your double figure eights. You can do this, joining together with your double figure eights. Now the problem with it is if you do this, it doesn't look the same way. You need to add one more spin. So you do your double figure eights, then you just bring your hand around. So that's another way. Across, flip. Across, flip. That's another way you can kind of think about doing this. All right, so my whole goal was to get you guys that move down today. If you cannot do it, type it in the comments. Tell me what you're doing wrong. Tell me what you're struggling with. You're like, oh, when I'm doing it, one very common problem is my strings get tied up. I can give you a fix to that real fast. Or you may say, I'm dropping my nunchuck. I don't know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. If you can type it out, I can probably figure out what the mistake is, because most nunchuck mistakes are common. It's very rarely that somebody will find a new way to mess up nunchucks. Yeah, so these are my 2 nunchucks today. I know I was using the black and pink one, and those were good. I really hate those types of strings, though. So I'm using some of these old school Bruce Lee style nunchucks. Yellow and black. Now they're the same height. The rope's a little bit off. I grab up here and pull them. One rope's a bit longer, but these ropes have one string to them, making them feel more like a chain. Chains are my preferred, because chains lock easy. With ropes, they kind of are very flexible. But chains are not flexible. They only bend if you bend them. All right, let's keep working on them. I don't see any comments in chat yet, so that means that you guys must be doing rock star levels double figure eights. I love it. I love it. Hopefully, Nicole, you're still here. We can do something that is very important to you. That was coffee. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so double figure eights. Now, the other thing that we worked on a couple weeks ago was triple spin. Triple spin. Now, I love triple spins, but there is a problem with a lot of triple spins where a lot of people get messed up. Oh, Caitlin says her only problem is she needs 2 nunchucks. You know what? That's fair, Caitlin. That's fair. If you want to try it without 2 nunchucks, grab 1, 2, 3. So, I'm going to show you a triple spin right now. If you have screamas, I would like you to grab that. If you don't have a screamas, I want you to grab your nunchuck double style here. I'm going to show you one of my favorite combos of all time. A triple spin, regular spin into a double figure eight. So you can either have nunchuck or a screamas. Screamas is going to help you out a bit more when you do this, but you don't have to do that. So here's what I want you to try. Our triple spin. Now, if you weren't here a couple weeks ago, I'm still going to break this down. If you have this down, I want you to practice doing it with your right hand, move to your left hand. Maybe if you have two screamas, practice doing it both sides. Whatever you want to do, just kind of make sure you have it down. If you don't have it down, I'm going to break it down for you. So this is our triple spin time. Start working on your triple spins. So, a triple spin all happens because of a certain motion I do with my hips and shoulders. I call it the whip. I'm not sure if there's any Phineas and Ferb fans, but I can't remember, the small girl child, was going like, she would go like this whenever she started to talk. So it's that sort of motion, is I'm going forward and backwards. And practice out. Bring your back hand forward, switching sides. Now if you're doing a double figure eight, this is a good practice to get used to too. It's almost like you're a squid. Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is another example. You know, when one tentacle is shorter than the other and she does that little dance move. Same thing here. One. When I spin like this, you can't tell. So, once you got that down and you got this motion of going 1, 2, start to add a little bit of a spin to it. Keep your hand in a fist. Make sure this hand comes upside down. I'm pointing thumbs down, up. Flip it up, bring it back. Upside down, 1. Get used to that. 1, 2. There is an inverse triple spin. We're not quite there yet. I find that to be one of the most difficult moves in basic training. So once you got that down, all you have to do is add a grip, an okay grip. That's where you make, you're doing okay. Grab. Make the okay symbol, you grab your schema, then back and forth the same way. What that does is it loosens your grip a little bit and it gives more room for your schema to go back and forth and it makes it look fancier. So I'm grabbing with my okay grip, but I'm doing the same motion. Once you get used to that and you're going back and forth, it makes things a bit easier. If you're doing double figure eights, you can do the same thing. You practice going here. Ooh. See, I know it looks kind of silly, and you may feel silly, but you're in your own house, so you're doing what you want, right? But you're getting used to this spin, and then you can start to add tricks onto it. See, this looks silly, but when you start to do triple spins, these look cool. So, the difference between that and this is I'm just tightening my arms and I'm making more of an intense face. Now, if you thought, okay, Finding Nemo example didn't really help me with my triple spin. Another way to think about it, more analytical, this is how I learned it best. I didn't learn it best by going like this. Was outside figure eight, going here, going away from my head. I do it again. Flip it upside down, bring it up. There. Bring it back, away from my head. Upside down, bring it up. Here. So 1, extra flip, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then doing that back and forth. So I go 1 spin, extra, in. 1 spin, flip, 2. I think it's easier just to do this in terms of understanding the motion that you need to do. But not everybody learns that way. If an instructor would have told me do it like this, it would have taken me a while to get it. But away from the head, upside down, bring it forward is something that I get down fast. Different style of learners. All right, so now I'm going to show you the move. My favorite move. You're doing a triple spin here into a double figure eight. So that's a lot, and it looks a lot cooler than it is difficult, right? Sometimes cool moves look extremely difficult to pull off. It's not always one-to-one. Now, if you have one nunchuck, all I want you to do is practice going triple spin, into figure eight. And actually, before I show you the second nunchuck, let's just try that. Triple spin, pointing your hand upside down into figure eight. Now, if you don't feel a difference between the two, that means you're just going figure eight into figure eight. So make sure that when you're doing this, your thumb comes down, you flip, and you come up. Thumb, flip, up. Do your motion. Then, once you got that motion down, the second it hits your back, change it to a figure eight. So you're going 1, 2, 3, figure eight. Now I changed the bit rate on this, so hopefully you can see it a bit better. I also changed the resolution. Ironically, it may have slowed it down a bit. I also changed the FPS. I changed a lot of things. It was not a very good control test. So hopefully you can see this better than when I normally do it. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, figure eight. 1, 2, 3, figure eight. Now, doing the other nunchuck is going to do this, and then figure eight. So try this out. Other hand, just grab it, just do one side. Kaylin with one nunchuck people, just do this. 1, figure eight. So see how this hand has to come across my body and tuck in. So if I'm doing it forward, here, it needs to come down here. That's how I get my figure eight, is my thumb coming across my body. So this should seem relatively easy, right? This is something that we did for warm-up pretty much, right? We're combining two moves. We got our windmill into our figure eight. Now combining these two things is where it gets difficult. So when I do my triple spin, I'm doing my windmill on my other hand. Then when I switch to figure eights, we do it together. Now this is hard when I'm doing it sideways, but I'm trying my best here. So I'm doing triple spins, windmill, then I move it over into my double. So I go 1, 2, 3, woo! I hit the shelf. So again, 1, 2, 3, into it. So that's your combo. If I'm doing this inverse, I always struggle with the inverse of this. See, I have to use my shoulder more because I'm not as practiced with my left hand. I broke it and I didn't use my left hand when I was doing nunchucks anymore. I only used my right hand, so my right hand got really good, but my left hand started to struggle. And I've never compensated for it yet. I've just practiced with my left hand, is what I should be doing. Then over. So I'm going triple spin. Ooh. Ooh. Into your double. It's going to be sloppy at first, and that's okay, but you're getting more and more used to it. Around. 1, 2, 3. I show you this combo not because it's particularly easy, but so you can kind of relax and do something fun and mess around a bit. This is my favorite combo in nunchucks. The only thing that I would add to this is a move we have not learned yet. So you go down here, then you tuck both nunchucks down, and then you spin it. We're not there yet, we'll get there. That one's not as hard as it looks. In the same vein, it's still pretty hard. I still mess it up, especially on string nunchucks. On chains, I can get it really well down. Ooh. Oh. If you love double nunchucks, my suggestion is try out some chain nunchucks. I can give you some when we're back in the studio, and see what you like. Good nunchucks are something that if you want to get good at nunchucks, you have to get good nunchucks. These foam ones are great, and they do help a lot, especially when you're starting to learn, because you can't hit yourself and hurt yourself. In the same vein, they're really hard to get more advanced on tricks. Some certain tricks become exponentially easier when you have a chain or nunchucks made for you. Not made for a general audience, but made specifically for you. So I typically do a 5 to 6 link chain and nunchucks that go from, these are going to be normally a little bit shorter, because I like them shorter, to half of my forearm. They should go from your wrist to your elbow, but I cut them a little bit shorter. Because when I cut them shorter, I'm able to have a little bit more control over some of these moves and tosses. They just snap a bit better for me. All right, so I showed you an advanced combo. I also showed you how to get there. People with one nunchuck, triple spin, figure eight. You can do always that and practice it. There is a difference. You're not just doing this. You're switching between the two. 1, 2, 1, 2, switch. So, people with 2 nunchucks going. Also, you could combine it into other things, but practice it. The one move I really wanted you to get down today was this. Considering I saw no comments, it seems like we did get it down. This is by far one of my favorite moves in nunchucks. It's the thing that I do to relax. Which brings me to the end of the class. I get that things are amping up in stress level as we're getting ready to come back, as finals are happening, but I appreciate you guys being here. And hopefully this class gave you a little bit of a challenge, but helped you relax a little bit. If you're ever feeling stressed, you're ever feeling like you just can't do it anymore, pick up some nunchucks and start spinning them. That's what helps me calm down. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll still be in there for a little bit. I won't end the stream immediately, so I can tell you and ask, answer the questions. My words are a little bit all over the place, but you get what I mean. Also, Nicole, if you're still here, I want to send you your belt. I'm pretty sure I already did, but have your mom send me an email after this. I'll let her know if I get it. If I don't email her back, I didn't get it. I'll be doing email for the next hour between classes, 45 minutes. I'll let her know within that time, as long as it's not till 3:30, after 3:30. With that being said, let me know. Because some emails seem to have been going through, other emails have not been. So I just want to make sure that if you send me videos, I see it. Caitlin, you're sweating? I'm sweating a little bit too. I got a lot of lights on me, so. But also, that's a little bit of a workout doing this. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time.